Following an improbable reverse sweep victory to open the season, Vegas Pro Volleyball is back for a Sunday showdown with the defending regular season champs in the Atlanta Vibe. This broadcast is brought to you by Southern Nevada Toyota Dealers and by Clark County Credit Union. We welcome you to Lee's Family Forum in Henderson, Nevada. Alongside Victoria Dennis, I'm Daniel Gilman. So happy to be with you all. And what we saw Friday was miraculous. A reverse sweep victory for the Vegas Thrill. And now moving into tonight's matchup with an Atlanta team that owned them last year, but it's a new Vegas Thrill team this year, Vicky.
It's a new vibe and thrill here inside Lee's Family Forum, and we can expect to see long extended rallies this ball game. Defense is going to be out of control. These athletes are going to have to earn points on second and third ball opportunities.
And in a town where anything is possible, we saw the impossible on Friday. A league record 72 assists from the ageless Elisa Childress and Victoria. Tinkers were made in the lineup, and Childress was able to react, connecting with both rookies on the outside.
Childress is a chameleon. She adapts to her surroundings. She's a leader. She gets at the ball with her eyes closed at this point in her career. And bringing in a looper off the bench, she swung high and hard, showed us exactly why she is the rookie that the Thrill needed. High hand-to-ball contact. She has range. She has volley IQ and vision. Talking about rookies, Jardine out of Utah coming in, making waves. Her torque on the ball is so fast. She has vision for high line and cross court.
2 steals in the draft for Vegas ownership. Meanwhile, on the other side, Atlanta relocked and loaded, fell in a tight 5-set match in Omaha on Friday, but they're led by both the libero of the year and last season's MVP in Leah Edmond.
Edmond is a very exciting athlete to watch. Best athletes have the worst memories. You have your good days and you have your bad. We can expect Edmond to come out and show us exactly what she's made of. She makes the right volley IQ swing. She gets her feet to the ball. And on defense, she's reading and reacting.
Well, let's look at the rest of the Vibe starting lineup. Lineup's brought to you by Clark County Credit Union. And it is Merritt Beeson, the rookie #1 overall pick, who was dazzling in her return to Nebraska with 17 kills on Friday. Meanwhile, on the other side, Victoria, who are you looking at maybe in the back row for Vegas?
Well, coming off of the bench, we saw Looper making plays. Maddox was digging balls in middle back, but it's DeFalco wearing the libero jersey that's putting on her helmet and digging that ball all over the place.
And we are set for first serve here tonight with the incredible Devani McClarty leading the way as our head referee, and a service error to kick off the match from Alicia Childress in her 9th season as a professional. In a matchup where certainly Atlanta may be favored by some, but a new Vegas team, we talked about Victoria, that now features this mixture of youth and veterans. We didn't talk at all about the middles. Van Buskirk and Oblad had terrific games on Friday.
They did. They have that veteran mentality. They also have the opening season last year, inaugural season with Childress. That's an ace from Maddox. Exactly the wind in the sail that the Thrill needed. Maddox didn't start on opening night, and she was the face of the franchise last year and coming in a new role. It's interesting to see Hernandez Cruz mixing up the lineups a little bit. We'll talk about it this game, but you have to earn your spot. This is the PVF. It's not just going to be given to you. Maddox came out, she earned it.
4 points, and we haven't seen a touch yet with 3 service errors and an ace as Marley Monserrat, the second-year setter for Atlanta, set to serve, targeting Maddox. And the first swing for the rookie Looper is rejected by the fellow rookie in Beeson, teaming up with Vicini in the Vibe, lead by 1.
Beeson exploding laterally and then diving back cross court. It's her right hand taking away that high seam.
Merritt Beeson, who had 20 points with a couple blocks and an ace on Friday, a double-double to boot. As they'll go back to Looper, it's picked up by the immeasurable Morgan Hentz, as Edmond's swing is long, and those are the 2 that really powered the sales from last year into this year, the 2 all-league preseason candidates and nominees in Hentz and Edmond.
We talk about the serve and pass battle. We've seen a couple unforced errors and an ace. Both of these teams have to serve aggressive to try and get each other out of system.
Well, they'll move Edmond to the right side, give her a look. Beeson at that comfortable position of outside as well. She started her career playing with Montserrat at Florida, and it's back to that Gator connection as the Vibe retake the lead.
Beeson attacking, going thumbs down into the seam. Pay attention to her arm load here. Her high elbow takes advantage of the seam. It was Jardine that drifted a bit too wide on that.
Landry Homeshare is our second referee as this serve is long. Remember, no R2s on the floor this season. One of a few new rules, including that the serving team does not have to be in rotation for the serve, a new FIVB protocol. And I'll tell you what, Victoria, we saw fewer service errors in the entire first set on Friday than we've seen here in the first 10 points.
Well, both of these teams know that they have to serve aggressive, especially Atlanta with Oblad and Van Buskirk in the middle. They want to take them out of the play.
Good ball by Looper, and right on cue, the slide for Berkeley Oblad. Her tried and true swing as the tip by Pia Timmer, the German rookie. Found the other way. Looper still looking for that first termination as Beeson, so cheeky with the tip. She's got a few kills.
Beeson was allowed to have that tip and it fall because she was taking rips coming out the gate. The defense of the Thrill dug in on her. She sold it the last minute. It was still a big double arm lift.
Childress trying to get Looper involved. And Edmond does the splits in back middle trying to defend that push.
Looper's really good at selling that and throwing it to the campfire. It's not considered a throw. Pay attention to where she contacts the ball well out in front of her shoulder.
Back and forth battle. No team has led by more than one. To the right side and Beeson. And the block registered by Maddox as the Thrill even it up.
The Thrill needed to up their blocking game, and they did it within 48 hours. Here's Maddox diving back into the seam. If they want to beat this Atlanta Vibe, they have to make these block moves.
Vegas outblocked 16-6 against Grand Rapids. However, they were able to come from behind as Timmer is dug. Over to Maddox on the far side, and her swipe misses any touches. Hannah Maddox, South Alabama, a little underrated through college, but she really exploded in her rookie year.
She did. It's your second wind in your sails. A lot of the time, myself playing NCAA volleyball, you think, do I want to play pro? I don't know, and then you get here and you're like, oh, okay, this is fun again. I really enjoy it. It's a new atmosphere, and I'm not done getting better. Maddox hasn't peaked. She's getting better every single season, every single game, so very exciting for that young athlete.
6'2" outside out of San Antonio. She hit 420 off the bench with 13 kills on Friday, but that swing into the net. So Atlanta with the 2-point edge as this block is recycled by Looper. DeFalco sets it up to Maddox, and it'll come the other way to Timmer. Good block touch. Montserrat in the Vibe front line looking strong as Beeson comes from the back. Looper, who is such a stable defender, matched by Edmond on a terrific point here at 8-6. Corey Lewis enters this match with an emphasis as she makes her first career start.
Good disciplined volleyball from Atlanta and Vegas, both making reading and reacting moves, but it's the gap set that'll put that ball away for Atlanta. That's one of the many extended rallies that we will expect to see here this evening, Daniel.
Timeout called by Las Vegas, and let's introduce you to the new head coach. 3-time Coach of the Year in the Men's Superior League in Puerto Rico, Ramon Hernandez-Cruz. He certainly made his debut exciting, didn't he?
He absolutely did. He is fired up to be a part of the PVF, and just talking with Coach Ramon, it's so fun to see the international flair, and coming from the Puerto Rican national team, Hernandez-Cruz played in the Olympics. He played in Puerto Rico, all over the world. And within his coaching, his career, it's just very exciting to see him here with the Thrill.
And on the other side, a bronze medalist with Alicia Childress back in Rio. Kayla Banworth made her return to Nebraska. Few points away. They were tied at 11 in the 5th when Brooke Nunneviller went nuclear, but she nearly had an emphatic return. One of the all-time dig queens of Nebraska volleyball.
Kayla is very excited to be a part of Atlanta program, and deep roots, volleyball's in her blood, and she has her baby boy now along on her side. She's enjoying mom life, but got the volleyball bug and back here with the PVF.
Yeah, her 4-year-old Maverick got to spend some time raising him back in Mesa, Arizona the past few seasons after taking Ole Miss to their first NCAA tournament in over a decade. As Banworth certainly a slam dunk hire by Atlanta's front office. And then they traded for the first overall pick and grabbed Beeson as Jardine, maybe the steal of the draft coming off of that explosive match on Friday.
Jardine has such explosive torque, meaning her core when she's winding up, loading, and then exploding through, much like an MLB pitcher or quarterback in the NFL.
Deep serve by Oblad, dumped by Montserrat, and that was something she didn't quite get going on Friday. Just 2 kills for the aggressive-minded second year.
Montserrat can be a very offensive threat. She stands at 6 foot, so where she's contacting the ball setting is well over the tape.
Yeah, she stole that setter job 11 matches in. Atlanta then traded their top pick in Tori Stringer. Now at Columbus as Maddox tips it over the block, and Vegas trying to stay within stretching reach here down 2.
Still plenty of volleyball left. It's going tit for tat here. Both sides trying to find their rhythm. Great solution play from Maddox.
Hence with a rare misstep, but it's bailed out. Look at Montserrat with the monster block up front.
Montserrat clamping down on that overpass. These are the balls that you have to take advantage of.
That's Lane Van Buskirk, the Canadian national team middle. Unable to set to her there was Childress, so it's Maddox on the right side. Edmond sets it up to Montserrat. That's usually the reverse. Right now, Atlanta's defense, stupendous to start as Edmond off the block, picked up by Jardine. Looper with finesse from the back row, it works out.
That rally extended because Charity Looper stayed on her feet in middle back, ran down the ball, and then in transition helped her team put that away. Jardine playing off blocker defense. These are the defensive plays that the Thrill need against Atlanta.
And a shank pass. Saved nicely for the time being, but Jardine able to double up that kill total.
Jardine, the once Utah Ute, saying thank you very much with that assist.
Tell you what, a lot of these players for Vegas may be playing with the best setter they've ever played with, and there was no doubt that Looper and Jardine felt comfortable on Friday, as Montserrat and Edmond certainly established a connection a season ago.
That's just a good swing. There's nothing you could do about it. Sometimes players just make good swings, and that's exactly how Edmond has earned her role and her name in this league.
Over 4 kills per set, led the league, led to that MVP award, and extra paycheck as well for Edmond last season. Right back to Edmond on the near side, and she gets some help from the tape to retake a strong 3-point edge here early in the first.
Edmond, even though she said she didn't have the best opening night, she still earned a double-double for Atlanta, so the sky is the limit for Edmond.
Quick trigger by Van Buskirk, picked up by Hentz, who had 31 digs on Friday. And how about this? Edmond saves it, but then there was a foot over the center line on that overpass. Let's take a look at that. Walk me through it.
I believe that there was a net violation, but that one-handed little slap over the net was athletic.
Kept it inside the antenna as well. And now it's Vicini, who had a career match against Omaha with 11 kills and 1 error. 14-11 the score.
Vicini is really strong in her route. She's able to run behind her setter, in front of her setter. She's up in the air on setter contact.
Strong topspin serve by Edmond. And then the dig to boot. Timmer, out of system, creates the net call and takes us into break. We'll talk more about the craftiness of the German rookie when we come back at 15-11 here in the first set from Vegas.
Our hearts and thoughts go out to everyone affected by the fires in Southern California. If you would like to help, you can donate by going to redcross.org/donate. I live about 25 miles south of the fires, and the sun's been blocked out for about 4 days and ash falling from the sky. Multiple families I know have lost homes. My friends are fighting the fires with local LA City Fire, and anything that you can do to donate. I know Vibe Volleyball Club in Thousand Oaks has a drive going. Our hearts and thoughts go out to all the families affected.
So happy that sports can be a distraction through this horrid week as we get back in action here at 15-11. Jardine maybe trying to get a little too crafty there, but back to Pia Timmer. You know, it's a unique story, right? Washington State, such a supreme career, especially culminating in 2 seasons ago, but 12 kills in a debut, 13 digs as well. Really impressive Friday night. An ace there from Edmond.
It really is, and to be able to come out and just have these big momentum plays, Edmond at the service line, solidifying this gap with the thrill. There's still a lot of volleyball to be left to play. We see a substitution coming in right now for the thrill.
Yes, the starting opposite on Friday, Willow Johnson, in her 2nd season in the PVF, got removed. Jardine came in and starred, but Johnson, the veteran, on the right side is going to come in, try to spell Jardine as Willow and Graham run a bit of a 6-2 sub with Carly Graham, last season's Orlando setter, and Johnson with San Diego. A couple veterans here in the league.
The 6-2 substitution allows for there always to be 3 front row attackers, and the setter always stays back row.
Now remember, only 8 subs per set, so that decreases Vegas's total to 6. As Graham looks to be offensive. Now Carly Graham playing in the front row though, so not quite what the intended cause of that is, and instead Vegas takes advantage, goes right over her in center front. Look at that.
Big arm swing in the 116.
Well, Vegas is going to call a timeout, try to sort themselves here as we take a break as well. Vibe lead by 7. Tonight's match is brought to you by the Southern Nevada Toyota Dealers Association. Toyota, let's go places. Time for a little clerical work here as the clappers given out to the first couple hundred fans. But Victoria, walk us through it. Vegas is now going to make another change and bring in Allison Mayfield, the former Supernova, in for Maddox.
Substitution on Maddox. It wasn't a 6-2 switch. Graham came in and is still setting in the front row. Johnson is in the back, playing right back.
Meanwhile, a pair of aces for the 2nd straight match for Edmond, who certainly spent time this past offseason trying to harness this topspin.
Where she's contacting the ball, it's a little bit of a hybrid. She's snapping right on the top of the ball to have that drop.
And another one, right down the seam, the cutting action of Edmond's serve. Too much for Vegas's back line. It's 20-11.
Best servers in the world have the most consistent toss. Watch as she tosses the ball exactly on her right shoulder and whips through that ball.
12 aces a season ago, 5 already through a match and change. As Edmond stretches it with her defense. Johnson in that right back defense, positioned well for Timmer's tip. They'll go back to Pia Timmer. 4-4, read well by Looper. This does not get over the net. 4 touches is the call, and the Atlanta Vibe now on a 5-0 spurt.
Vibe running away with it, creating momentum from the service line. They knew they wanted to serve tough to get the middles of the Thrill out of system. The Thrill need to find a solution.
Coach Hernandez Cruz really emphasized no priority for playing. He will sub in and out. In fact, he just made a libero change. Mary Schroll making her professional debut. It doesn't matter. Edmond is firing on all cylinders. 4 aces in the first set for Leah Edmond.
When it's on, it is on, and you feel good at the service line. You go back with confidence, and Edmond is firing away. She's serving different seams on the court, and there's the miss, but she was mixing up her service location with bringing the heat, earning those aces.
The damage had been done. An unbelievable run for the Vibe. Have stretched their lead to 10 here in set 1 as Carly Graham serves, pushing Willow Johnson into the front row. Good read by Hentz. Beeson right down the line. The call is out. Our Bolt 6 says out, and Atlanta wants to challenge a touch now as we see the replay quickly. So we will have our first challenge here tonight, Victoria. Each coach has 2 challenges per set. If you win it, you retain it. And we will now pause for this Bolt 6 review. Of course, no line judges here in the Pro Volleyball Federation. Really something last season that separated this league from any other, seemingly in the world, but especially in this country, to have the exclusive rights. And Bolt 6 says the pinky got a touch there.
Something to know, if you see a challenge during a rally, even if it's an elongated rally, you have to call it in real time. If you wait until the rally ends and you said the block touch happened on the second contact of that rally, you can't challenge it. So if you see it, you gotta pull your card immediately.
Meanwhile, Bianca Bertolino, who had just 1 set under her belt on Friday, will come in and serve the Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket back at home. Drafted in the 5th round as Bertolino picks up a dig. Quickly to Oblad. How about 2 digs for the double B action? And it leads to the point. First 2 professional stats registered, and Bertolino and the Vibe are loving it.
Great swing there by Timmer on the pin, using all 6-2 of that reach. The ball drifted out wide, but her hand-to-ball contact guided that ball through the block and down the line.
Spin into the net from Bertolino, but still 11 more set points to play with for the visiting Vibe, coming off of that tight loss on Friday and an incredible crowd in Omaha. 13,486 to set a new league mark.
It's pretty remarkable, and it's just the beginning for the PVF.
Yeah, sellouts in Indy and Grand Rapids to boot. As Corey Lewis, the Florida State Seminole, puts an exclamation point to this opening set as the Atlanta Vibe ride an 8-0 run. Take the set by 11 as we head to the second. So happy that you're with us here on this Sunday night performance of Pro Volleyball Federation. Your Vegas Thrill are so back. Join the ride with matches next Friday against defending champ Omaha at 7 and Sunday against Orlando at 5 at Lee's Family Forum. Friday night is Team Flag Night, and there will be a new mascot to reveal. Yeah, go ahead and start your guesses now. Sunday, it's trading card night with collectible cards of some of your favorite players while supplies last. Get your tickets now at vegasthrill.com. Now tonight they gave away the Clappers, Victoria, and after the 5th set on Friday, we know how loud Lee's Family Forum can get.
Vegas shows up and shows out. They know how to party here and have a good time in Vegas, and it shows in the PVF, and the volleyball community in Henderson, in Vegas, is thriving. All the clubs come out to hang out with us. It's very exciting.
So Schroll stays as the libero. Everyone else back to the starters for Vegas here to start the second set, as the connection between the setter and middles has not quite been there, and it leads to an Edmond kill as Leah Edmond generated 6 points, 4 of them off the serve in that opening set.
Edmond, part of the reason that Atlanta was able to bat 385 in set number 1, the throw was batting 0, tack on 4 aces to go with it for Atlanta.
Now out of system from the Arizona State graduate as Looper into that net. And that rookie magic that flourished on Friday, taking a little bit longer to get started here tonight.
And we'll see that. You have to learn how to navigate the peaks and the valleys, and how do you respond when things aren't going your way.
Timmer's service run continues to start the set, and it creates that free ball that the service pressure has been all over, but Atlanta, with a miscommunication between Monterrey and Edmond, give Vegas that point, and it's 2-1.
A little bit of breathing room here for Vegas on this miscommunication by Atlanta. Even happens at the professional level.
But look at the grit from Hentz, trying to get to it nevertheless, as Morgan, the libero of the year, spent 3 years with the United States national team, was on the reserve roster for the VNLs last year, as Maddox cross court beats Hentz and ties us at 2.
Maddox with a second ball put away. That's the coverage and extended rally that the Thrill needed. Maddox taking big rips, not shying away from the block, challenging that block of Atlanta.
Hannah Maddox a season ago with over 3 kills and 2 digs per set. As Edmonds, I'm not sure that got a touch. It's ruled live action. And the thing is, you mentioned it, Hernandez Cruz had to challenge it then and there, and it's too late now to challenge, as Atlanta picks up the point, and maybe a little regret on Vegas' sideline.
Jardine tried to go up and over that block. It was a closed block inside. Good vision there from Atlanta.
Left side to Maddox, sharp cross, does not get a touch. And Atlanta takes the lead on a few blocking moments that certainly plagued Vegas on Friday. Victoria, what's a way to cure blocking woes for a team?
I mean, if you're on the side and you're taking swings and it's just block after block, that's a great kill there from Van Buskirk to earn that first ball side out. Try something up, run a different route, go high hands if there's a big block out in front of you. Make sure you're swinging it with a high elbow and a high hand, challenging that big block in front.
I certainly think getting Van Buskirk the ball would be a good answer. She led the PVF in kill percentage a season ago, over 50%. As Jardine handled by Timmer. Beeson tries that inside-out swing. It's wide, and we're tied again.
And it just takes 1 to 2 points if you're a fan here in Henderson to get the Thrill going. Atlanta has a very good first ball side out, so you have to make sure you serve tough.
It's a tough serve, creates the overpass. Oblad on a give and go, straight down from the Henderson native.
Childress and Oblad with that connection again. They had all season last year and now this year together. Oblad up in the air, her shoulders are square at her setter. When she's taking off to the ball, the local Henderson native putting another one away.
Van Buskirk sails one. Back to Oblad. In the 3rd meeting between these teams last year, Berkeley had 7 kills without an error, but Vegas tried to forget those 4 matches, Victoria. They lost all 4, just took 1 set total against the Vibe a season ago, and hoping to change the sides here tonight.
Well, there's only 4 returners for the Thrill, so it's a clean slate.
Inside to Maddox, and that's pounded cross court. Just like that, Las Vegas takes their lead here in the second.
Maddox came in main waves on Friday night, and she's showing us the rips that she was taking. The block was there and late. You can see them saying, man, Maddox taking advantage.
Feels like a fantastic crowd has really filled in on the inner portions of this arena tonight. Looper from the back row, straight down from Vicini, the Stanford champion.
Vision as a middle blocker is crucial. You have to be able to read ball setter, ball hitter. That's exactly how Vicini blocked that volleyball.
Only 14 sets a season ago. Vicini is healthy and ready to roll. But Leah Edmond, we talked to her before the match, Victoria. She said, yeah, I have one match per season that I just throw away. She hit almost negative on Friday and has come out with vengeance tonight.
She's absolutely reset, and it shows exactly how she's an elite athlete and was the league MVP.
And Coach Banworth will certainly take a few service errors if it comes with 5 aces early in the second set, won't she? Brings in Maddox, one of the top servers last season. 5th in the PVF with 17 aces. But this is an easy one to excuse me. To Mance, and a net violation will plague Vegas on the kill by Vicini. When Hens can get a perfect pass, it really gives Monterrey a ton of options.
Absolutely. When you have a controlled first ball contact, the world is your oyster.
Now Vicini back to serve, brings Lewis back in the match. She gets a block touch, but it sails wide for Oblad's second kill.
Good first ball side out for the Thrill, taking advantage of that big block of the Vibe. Vibe coming out, reading and reacting very well on defense.
So in comes Van Buskirk. She'll take a ramp and terminate to give Vegas a 1-point edge.
An overpass in my book is an unforced error, and when I code on Volley Station, when I did at Pepperdine, I code it as a 0 because it's a give me play. Van Buskirk putting that ball away.
I feel like it should be half an ace as well as the server creates. And here Corey Lewis, the explosive middle out of Tallahassee, Florida, finished the match playing the last 4 sets. Of course, that horrific injury to Shelly Fanning that put her on the IR. Set it up for Lewis, and she succeeded.
Daniel, I have to say, with the ace forcing the overpass, I think the serve should be an assist, and then the overpass is the kill.
I like that. Meanwhile, Maddox gets in the way of what would have been a service error, and it is another Vibe ace as Beeson generates her second of her career.
Tagging her on her shoulder. She thought she read it dropping, but that ball floated.
6 aces for the Vibe now. Back row Jardine, handled by Hens. Again, Jardine, the cut shot, has too much cutting action. Atlanta jumps ahead by 2. They took the first set in domination, 25-13.
Atlanta had 2 up on that block. Jardine read it, tried to cut it inside the block, just went a bit wide, right swing.
Line drive serve again to Maddox. Out of system from Schroll. Leah Edmond well on her way to what could be a triple-double territory if we go long, as Childress sent over an ugly third ball. But it won't matter. It's a block for Looper and Van Buskirk, and sometimes a block solves all problems.
Looper crossing out to her pin. Van Buskirk being able to close that block. The block starts with your pins, setting the block to allow the middle blockers to close and take that angle.
Good read by Timmer. Beeson blocked, somehow ricocheted over by Lewis. Looper handled by Hens. Joust put away by Jardine.
Schroll is everywhere right now for the Thrill, running around, covering her side. The libero for the Thrill, allowing Jardine to put that one high away. The Thrill are going to have to earn every single point. Tip
into the donut by Edmonds, and she has now tipped closer to 10, 9 points on this match for Edmond as she eyes a big one.
Atlanta vibing out with this campfire wide open. Edmond selling it last second up and over that block.
Good job by Jardine. This will be saved by Schroll, and the point continues. Edmond, and a net violation on Jardine spoils what was a tremendous defensive play.
An unforced error on Jardine. It's uncharacteristic. She's a very dynamic, disciplined blocker. It's only the second game of the season. I expect her to come out and earn another block here.
Timmer, who started this set on a mild service run, in the midst of one now, as Looper beats that right back defense. And Charity Looper, just 5'9". We saw on Friday Victoria with her 18 kills that she can jump out of a gym.
She can, and that's how she earns these points. Watch as she delayed her second step to that ball and stepped close to the peak. High hand ball put away.
Back within one now for the thrill, as Lewis on a slide. Glass and Looper both got in that way, but Corey Lewis, who Coach Banworth told us can nearly touch 11 feet. That is unbelievable to hear.
That's pretty remarkable. I also agree with you.
Also a first-round draft pick in this year's PVF draft. Maddox, how about Lewis with the dig? One setter takes it away from the other as Hannah again. This time it's a successful swing. 4 kills, 3 errors now for Maddox in this match.
A one-on-one opportunity for Hannah Maddox going in the favor of the outside. She swung high hands, going inside, challenging that block. Earned that point.
And system out to Edmond, straight down. Jardine and Oblad with a big block.
The Thrill have to block volleyballs, and this is exactly how you do it. Watch as Jardine lines up perfectly her right hand on ball, clamping down on that block.
Block number 4 for the home team. As that hit the antenna, did it not? Oh my goodness, no call there. It must have just trimmed the tape. And the vibe will send us into the break with a lucky bounce. 15-14, a tight second set. Stay right there. Broadcast of the Vegas Thrill is brought to you by Clark County Credit Union. Sign up today for a CCCU Vegas Thrill debit card. Clark County Credit Union, the official credit union of the Vegas Thrill, here on National Youth Sports Day. A tremendous crowd. We got some aces in attendance. The Ace Elite Club, run by the Vegas president, Ruben Herrera, and the community that runs through volleyball here from the Vegas Thrill organization is just so tremendous.
It is so much fun, and you know where I'll see them is at the Red Rock Grave with my SCVC 17s team that I co-head coach with, and I switched from the boys side back to the girls this year. It's been so much fun.
15-14 vibe as Jardine swipes it off the tape, and so far some of these out-of-system connections just have not quite been there. What is something that an adjustment can be made from either the hitters or the setter?
Well, you can rep it out all practice long, but until you're in the trenches against another team, you don't really know a couple facets of the game. So that could be one of them, is the out-of-system attacking.
Good cover by Looper. Jardine off the touch, it's down as the Vegas fans try to will their Thrill to a set win.
Relentless defense. It's not going to be pretty and flashy for the Thrill against the Vibe, because Vibe plays such disciplined defense, but they're just going to have to be gritty and attack those high hands, create those opportunities.
Looks like Timmer might have jammed her finger, but when Coach Banworth came over and said, "I'll take you out," Timmer said, "No, we're not doing that." And so now finally being forced to potentially get an examination from the trainer and maybe some tape as well.
Taping it up, good old-fashioned tape. Tape is a volleyball player's best friend out here. I can attest, as I was once a 6'3" outside. I have no more nerve endings in my fingers anymore. I just, from blocking all the volleyballs, just reps on reps.
2 kills on 10 swings for Timmer as Jardine serves to try to even the match. Right to her on the left side. It's Beeson switching sides with Edmond and finding a seam.
Beeson finding that seam with her vision. She saw the defensive Imperial rotate just a bit. See her, it was a closed block, and she attacked that 5-6 seam veteran swing.
Back to that dangerous serve. This is maybe a centimeter deep. Let's see if Bolt 6 sends us how close Edmond's serve was from being in. Here we go.
Bolt 6, 22 cameras around Lee's Family Forum, 12 cameras at the floor, 10 cameras in the stands and rafter.
We had one even closer than that late in the 5th set on Friday when Childress picked up a dump. As Beeson, they can't seem to find her. Switches from the left to the right and again finds a gap in the block.
She's versatile. She can swing on the left, on the right, because she gets her feet to the apex of the ball. And when she's in the air, she's looking across the net before making hand-to-ball contact.
Deep serve from Vicini. Slide for Oblad right between the blockers. And Berkeley Oblad has been doing this for years.
A first ball controlled contact, perfect pass, allowing Oblad to put that ball away in the seam.
Her fellow Ute and Jardine there to celebrate as Lewis returns the favor with a cut shot that has Coach Ramon trying to find a way for the blockers. He is so demonstrative. It's fun to watch, Victoria, because he's available to be seen right in the top of the screen.
He is active, he is vocal. You would think he would be out there on the court if he could.
You see Coach Ramon Hernandez right there in front of the Toyota logo. And here's Schroll. Her first action as a professional, and she's done admirably in the back row as Jardine pulls Vegas within 1.
I love how Childress finds Jardine in right back. Childress, she's playing right front as a setter. She needs another outlet, only having 2 at the net, and Jardine is that outlet when she's in the back row.
Slide now for Lewis. What a shot. Deep corner on a slide over the blockers.
Lewis off of 1 foot is so dynamic, running behind. Played at Florida State. Has great vision and able to have that torque in the air as well.
Yep, an All-American for hometown Seminoles as Looper thought she had a kill. Instead it goes the other way, and Schroll is there to take away Edmond's swing. Montserrat just to tip that over in time. Back over to Jardine on the far side. And Vegas wants a touch. Coach Hernandez-Cruz has been a bit timid with the challenges. He will not use one here. Instead, he'll call upon Willow Johnson to come back in and spell the rookie Jardine, as you see how far that one was out. Johnson a season ago joined the Mojo in April. She was still finishing off her career with South Korea. And for Johnson, nearly 3 kills a set, over 2 digs a set as well for an opposite. Looper. Gosh, it's the hench show, isn't it? She is spectacular. There's an opportunity in system to Johnson. Look at Schroll, put the body on the line. Overpass, terminated by Van Busker.
Van Busker saying, let's go, taking advantage of another overpass, but Schroll laying out, playing unbelievable defense. Schroll is so scrappy, the rookie coming from ASU.
And off the bench, Victoria Schroll has matched Hence's dig total, 6 apiece. As Lewis finds a gap on that slide again. Corey Lewis probably played better than the stats on Friday, 2-0-10, but her coach was very pleased.
Right, she has a big presence on the court, and we've seen from her slide attack running behind that she is up and she takes advantage if the block will drift.
Timeout Vegas, down by 3. Corey Lewis, 6 kills on 7 swings. We'll see more of her next.
To enjoy a Vegas Thrill match is in the party zone at Lee's Family Forum. You can rent it out today by calling 725-251-5413. Join the ride.
And we got DJ Kelly J in the house as well. You've got to make sure to attend a Vegas Thrill match this season. The atmosphere unlike any other, as over 4,000 were in the Forum, making a lot of noise on Friday as Maddox and the Thrill were able to propel the team to a come-from-behind victory over Grand Rapids. Looking for a comeback win again tonight. Buskirk doing her best with back-to-back kills, and they're within 2.
The middles are so prominent for the Thrill. They get up in transition and are available. The Canadian national team member, Van Buskirk, showing us her international flair.
8 kills on 17 swings Friday. 3 kills on 7 here early for Lane. With Oblad in the front row, Vegas staring down the barrel with Atlanta 2 points away from a 2-0 lead. But that might be right where Coach Hernandez Cruz wants them, huh?
Still plenty of ball game left. It just takes one side out if you're a fan of the Thrill. Push a couple points out the service line.
Rotation 1 for the Vibe as Montserrat targets Maddox. Give and go, and a bomb from number 11.
Maddox attacking into the seam. Her step close got all the way to the apex of that ball. When you have Childress setting, notice the set perfectly in the attacker's window, about 2 feet inside the antenna.
Good serve by Johnson. Beeson will tip, and a pancake save by Willow Johnson. 23-21 in the second. Tight set, might have been heading out, saved by Beeson. An opportunity where Childress wants to go. Hens takes it away from Maddox. Back row attack from Timmer. Momentum point coming, and it is a roof built by Edmond and Vicini, and set points to come.
Edmond clamping down on that volleyball, an explosive lateral move to the pin, getting in front of Maddox's shoulder and saying, what more do you want from me?
One last time out to use. You can't take it into the third. So Coach Ramon Hernandez Cruz will use it, and Leah Edmonds certainly looking like she's happier than Friday.
I would say so. She's having herself quite the ball game, and it's a testament again to just the outstanding athlete she is. She was outside hitter of the league last year, MVP of the PVF, coming into this ball game and showing how consistent she is. And when you get to this level, everybody's good. But what makes you different than the next guy? It's the mental game. 90% of this game is mental. I would even say 95%, because everybody's out here. They're physical. They can hit. They can play defense. They can serve. But what separates you from the other guys, the mental game, Edmond is unmatched.
11 points already for Edmond, plus Atlanta playing without a starter. You see Shelly Fanning there in the back right. It's time for our injury report, brought to you by the Nevada Army National Guard. Protect what matters most to you. So Fanning added to the IR. Kendall White still awaiting clearance to make her return after winning the PVF championship with Omaha in her last match. White has been resided to assistant coach duties here in the first weekend. 3 set points for Atlanta, and Leah Edmonds' dangerous serve spares one of them long, and it's 24-22.
The Thrill holding their breath with Edmond at the service line. When you're in serve receive, it's more of a defensive move with Edmond at the service line.
We'll have a coach interview right after this set comes to a close, so stick with us as Beeson's swing is recycled. And it's Timmer finishing the set as Atlanta will take a 2-0 edge into the intermission. And it's deja vu for Vegas as we will try to flag down as Leah Edmonds 3 points away from matching her total on Friday. We take another look at that final termination by Timmer, who has extreme explosiveness and certainly a heady amount of guidance, as we are set to be joined now by the Atlanta head coach in Caleb Banworth. And we are so happy that Coach Banworth is here with us, scrambling a bit.
Hi. Oh, Mike.
Yep,
Mike.
just have to.
Got it. Hey, guys.
Well, housekeeping.
Hi,
Coach, thanks so much for joining us. 2 sets into this second match of the season. What have you learned so far from your group?
Man, they're good at volleyball. Leah's got a hell of a serve. Corey's slide is pretty much unstoppable right now, so we're doing a lot of really, really nice things. You know, Thrill did it the other night. I'm fully expecting them to do it tonight again, so we got to be really good here in the 3rd set and take care of business and get out of here before we get in trouble.
Defensively, what are you looking to do in the 3rd set?
Yeah, we got to make some adjustments on our lineups on the go, just identifying the set a little bit better, seeing that set inside. If it's inside, we got to take it away. If it's all the way to the pin, we got to take that away too. So a little bit better job blocking there, and then we just always got to clean up our off-speed defense.
One thing you want the fans to know about Atlanta Vibe Volleyball.
They're a great group. They're really talented. They play for each other, and it's we're doing something special this year.
Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
First season as the Atlanta Vibe head coach. We head into set 3, where Vegas is looking for a repeat performance from Friday night's reverse sweep. Stick with us. Tonight's match is brought to you by the Southern Nevada Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And Clark County Credit Union. Sign up today for a CCCU Vegas Thrill debit card. Let's take a look at the stats through 2. Victoria, certainly lopsided.
It's the blocking that stands out to me. 6 for the Vibe, 3 for the Thrill. They're able to make a couple plays on defense, but right now the Vibe are digging to convert at a higher percentage.
The sides have swapped, and the third set is ready. Mayfield is in left front for the Thrill. She won a championship with Omaha a season ago, brings a ton of experience as another outside option. As Lewis on a cut shot with her first attack error of the night, Vegas takes the lead.
I expect Mayfield to come out and make big plays, 15 in white for the Thrill. She's a veteran player. She's been playing for 9 years. Was the MVP of the Peruvian League when her and I played against each other.
Mayfield tries to keep that in and pop it over, and hard to do that outside of the antenna. So Atlanta evens it here early in the third set. Vicini comes in, and so far the 2 middles for the Vibe have been near perfect offensively. Mayfield recycles some savviness as a free ball comes to Montserrat. Trigger swing by Mayfield, gets a free ball, but Van Buskirk is wide, and that's a rarity from Lane.
Coach is gonna try and challenge a net violation.
First
Hernandez
challenge.
Cruz.
So also an opportunity to use it maybe as a timeout. Try to talk to his group here early in the third set. A must-win set for Vegas. Familiar territory after Friday. Let's take a look. And no net call is confirmed. Now you're seeing the Puerto Rican flavor come out with a little frustration.
He's saying that he was challenging the play before, not that one. Devaney is probably letting him know that he has to challenge that net violation at the exact moment. You can't wait until the play is over.
Yep, new rule this season as Mayfield misses wide and Atlanta on a 3-0 run now. And how important is that, Victoria? Because as a coach, you may not want to challenge if a point's continuing, because if you lose the challenge, you lose the point. And instead, the point comes to a close and you can't challenge the middle of it. Now, Edmond on the swing gets a net violation, and Vegas starting to pile a little frustration.
Daniel, to touch on your point, it's a tight walk rope.
Yeah.
It's a tight balance that you have to go with confidence if you see it.
Quick set to Van Buskirk, timed well by Vicini. And there's a block from LVB, the 2-time All-American in her 4th year as a pro.
Van Buskirk's getting in front of her attackers, and her left and right hand are in different areas on the net. Pay attention to her left hand was taking away that seam, right hand in the cross.
Johnson winds up on the Terraflex. Atlanta winds up in celebration. Leah Edmond continues to flourish both on offense and defense. She's on her way to another double-double. There's a look at the aces number, 5 of them generated by Edmond. Second time for Johnson. Worked around to Mayfield out of system. Vegas looking to find a play that can get this crowd on their feet. They're a bit quiet following a 2-0 start to this match. That's a big kill from Oblad, and the Thrill crowd happy to celebrate.
Oblad putting that ball away after an extended scrappy rally. She had a gap in a seam in that block. She ran that gap set. Oblad bringing the veteran calm, cool, and collected. Calm, cool, and collected, Daniel.
Bumped over to Edmond, blocked beautifully, and Vegas within one.
Oblad making that big crossover step, closing her block, getting in front of her attacker, and clamping down on Edmond. Nowhere for Edmond to go.
Not a bad seat, center court, front row for that fan. As Beeson recycles, but pops it over. Opportunity on the slide for Oblad on a give and go. That's the thing about the PVF. Every middle is probably putting that away, and you don't really see that at other levels.
You don't, and Oblad shows us how it's done. It's off of 1 foot, spreading her offense was Childreth, giving Oblad that one-on-one opportunity in transition.
From 5-1 to 5-all. Beeson picked up by Looper, a pair of rookies. And then the veteran Morgan Hentz gets involved as this is flung to the corner. Slide for Oblad. Mayfield, cross court, ends the rally.
Mayfield taking a rip on the ball. She's played in many different countries, finally has been playing now back on the States, where she brings her veteran IQ. It's in her vision. There's Mayfield, MVP of the Peruvian League. As I said, we got to know each other very well down in Peru, playing against each other. Mayfield has 9 years of professional experience, played at Kansas, broke the school's single season record for kills, 462, and kills per set at 416.
Free ball generated on another terrific serve. 6-5 Vegas. Deception on that Oblad slide attempt. They go to Mayfield. Childress with her first dump of the day.
Childress using that peripheral vision. We know she has to track the kids at home, and she could track the blockers on the other side of the net, no problem. With that vision, seeing that seam wide open.
She waited until the 5th set on Friday to pick up her first kill. Had 2 of them in key moments in that come from behind win. And you mentioned it's such a leader, the most inspirational player of the year, awarded the PVF banquet in Omaha in May.
Bronze medalist in Brazil in 2016.
Again, serve receive breaks down for Atlanta, and an offensive net violation give Vegas their largest lead of the night in a 3-point edge, and a timeout called from Atlanta. The first of its kind, as we will take a break with the momentum teetering in favor of the Thrill. The score here in set 3. Join the ride next Friday night as the Thrill take on defending champion Omaha at 7 o'clock. The first 500 fans will get a Thrill team flag, and then the first team mascot will be unveiled. So make sure to grab your tickets now at vegasthrill.com. I got one tip as a hint. The mascot is not a Pop-Tart, so you can lower our expectations to the YouTube crowd as Edmond misses wide on the swing, and Vegas extends their biggest lead of the night, 9-5, and starting to feel a little bit like deja vu, isn't it? Vegas feeling good. Monserrat, back row. Timmer tries to keep her feet behind that 10-foot line. Great reactions by Oblat. Timmer again. Schroll is everywhere. Ninth dig for the rookie. Set by Hentz, swiped wide with no touch. And we're gonna have a challenge here for Atlanta as Beeson trying to call for the touch. There's Coach Banworth. She called it in our interview, didn't she, Victoria? She said Vegas is gonna come out hot in the third.
She did,
Yeah.
absolutely. She's been around the sport just a little bit.
All right,
I like the lineup right now. I want to talk about the lineup of Eveman and Mayfield. Mayfield does a really good job of playing the vision game as a blocker, so she knows challenge in favor of Atlanta. Mayfield is, we can see a block touch. Yep. Childress reaching for that ball on her right hand.
Yep, call overturned. Challenge retained by Nebraska's dig queen at the time of graduation. Now, of course, that's been overpassed by a few players as Mayfield goes line and beats Monserrat to get that 10th point again.
What more do you want from Mayfield coming in off the bench, the veteran screaming down the line. Her shoulders staying square across court. It's that last hand-to-ball contact.
Kansas native, played 17 sets for Omaha last year. Certainly expected to have a bigger role with Vegas as Mayfield's service run comes to a close via Timmer and her 4th termination.
And as the season progresses, Daniel, I expect to see lineup changes work themselves out for all teams in the league. It's still now only the 2nd game of the season that ball is out of bounds, point through.
8 service errors now. That tally's starting to carry weight as Atlanta no longer cruising like they did in sets 1 and 2. Of course, 6 aces. 5 from Edmond will help that total as Timmer from way downtown, Hentz puts that on a dot for Pia Timmer.
Timmer attacking that ball, one of the hardest sets to hit. She has to track it up and over her shoulder and then try and hit a moving object out in front of her.
Off the hands of the 6-footer Childress, who shows a little punch back, and it's 12-8.
With authority, Childress at the net saw the gap in the block and took advantage. Elite setters are tracking the blockers on the other side of the net while they're making their routes as a setter.
Back to Timmer out of system. Looper has yet to really get going here tonight. And then off the dome of Van Buskirk, it's Beeson again. Merritt Beeson gets to 10 kills first.
Beeson getting a little lucky with that head play from Van Buskirk. She closed the block. Lane stands at 6'4", Van Buskirk, and sometimes you're just gonna get a little left tap there on the head.
Atlanta pulls within 3, give and go with Looper. And that one comes into our kitchen. Deflected away as Looper picks up her 5th kill with 4 errors on 18 swings. She'll go to serve.
Chipping away is Looper. She's swinging high hands, which she needed to do throughout the duration of the game, trying to find her rhythm here.
Charity picked up a big ace late in the match Friday. Made her first pro start look so smooth, as did Beeson. Such high expectations for the #1 overall pick. All-American from Nebraska. Let's take a look at her from the back row.
Beeson unleashing on that ball where she's attacking in the back row. She has to take off from behind the 10-foot line, but that point of contact is well in front, almost like a front row attack.
Edmond handled easily by Childress. Willow Johnson tries to get on the stat sheet. She's taken 6 swings, but it's Taylor Head from the back row for her first professional swing. The Florida State teammate of Corey Lewis gets an exclamation. Let's take a look.
Head with authority in the back row. She sees the seam in the block and unleashes.
And now a block from Vicini and Monterey. That set didn't give Mayfield a lot of options, and a look at Taylor Head, who has helped Atlanta creep back within 1. Johnson, cross court handled by Beeson. And the joust works its way back to the Vibe side as Monterey terminates, and we're tied at 13.
Momentum back on the side of the Vibe. They're able to find points in transition. They have a very active back row, giving them the opportunity to find the holes in the block of the throw.
I'll tell you what, nobody louder on that Atlanta sideline than Coach Kayla Banworth exclaiming her way into that Vegas timeout. Meanwhile, the Thrill composed in this huddle. Victoria, what do you think the focal points of this conversation are?
First ball side out if you're the Thrill, and you gotta find ways to earn real points, meaning that it's not an unforced error, it's not a lucky play that the Vibe are giving you. Put the ball to the ground, take advantage of the big block out in front of you, but it starts with a pass, and it starts with a good first ball controlled contact.
Let's take a look at the preseason all-league team. I mentioned it earlier, Atlanta with a pair of nominees, including Morgan Hentz, who was the unanimous selection, Leah Edmond as well, last season's MVP. And while Victoria, the Vibe picked to win the conference, the league this season, and certainly a roster makeup that feels like they have a shot. The question is, how will teams like Orlando, who have made key additions, and Indy as well, who have started strong, compete with that?
Well, you have to fuel the fire, right? You have to build the foundation for your program, your team, to then excel. And these elite athletes can show up on any given night. So we did see the preseason poll, but I'm telling you, there's gonna be a shakeup as the duration of the PVF continues to play out.
Strong serve by Lewis out of the timeout at 13-all. Stroll over to Johnson. There's a decisive swing for Willow Johnson's first kill of the night.
Johnson is a left-handed attacker on the right side, allowing her to have this sharp angle at a system. Watch as she goes thumbs down on that ball.
Meanwhile, Van Buskirk will target Head. And Edmond on a first ball side out. Atlanta's FBSO numbers are quite high here tonight.
Thrill has to force Edmond to swing line. Take away her hard cross right now. That's her bread and butter at the moment.
And so Marley will now serve. We were tied at 14 last set as well, before Atlanta pulled away. And Childress gets close to the net as a back row setter. Ruled a back row violation on the attack as Atlanta once again takes a lead at 15-14 into our break. I'll tell you more about Banworth and her historic history when we come back. Vegas Thrill would like to thank its official hotel partner, the Ahern Hotel, a luxury hotel with no resort or parking fees. And our media friends at Fox 5 and Sunny 106.5, our media sponsors of the Las Vegas Thrill. Meanwhile, Victoria, that was called a back row attack on Childress. What did you see?
Well, she was trying to go up and play the ball. I personally might have not agreed with that call, given that her feet were still on the ground. What a rip, though, from Willow.
Yeah, Vegas
on the right side.
They came into that timeout a little peeved with that call, and certainly coming out with some fury there is Willow Johnson, as now Jardine and Graham will come in this setter right side combo as we take another look.
Johnson, new to the Thrill roster, was at San Diego last year, unleashing as a left-handed attacker on the right side. Her 6'3" stature allows her the opportunity to go fast and beat that block.
Carly Graham, Bryce graduate, last season played for Orlando. And she takes this swing that goes over her head and out. Good decision in right back defense there. There's a look from our Bolt 6 as Carly spent the fall as an assistant coach for Texas State. Meanwhile, Edmond on a give and go here. She was a broadcaster, did your job, Victoria, on the ESPN broadcast for SEC Network. And when you can stay around the sport like that, I'm sure you can sponge any knowledge you may not have already. And Edmond has come into this second season fired up, looking for a ring, as out of system has been a delight for the Vibe tonight.
Edmond has been really, really good out of system. That set was very much in system, though, beating that one-on-one block.
Edmond takes a little off this serve. It's saved by Jardine. No ace this time. As Head in the front row for the first time, tips it over the block. Taylor
An aggressive serve from Edmond at the end line. The Thrill in serve receive need to attack the ball moving forward, more of a defensive move in serve receive on this serve.
Had a third-round draft pick, started her career at Arkansas. Part of that talented tournament team with Jill Gillen, who was a star for Orlando last year, as Beeson high off the block and down in Atlanta. Leading by 2 here late in the third set. Vegas is gonna need to dip into that reserve engine, and Vegas is gonna use their final timeout here at 18-16. We're gonna stay here though, as Brian Doran, the second-year assistant coach, was a part of the original team last season with Todd Dagenet, and now first in command on Kayla Banworth's troop. But Victoria, we talked about it a little bit. Banworth, who was a walk-on at Nebraska. If that's not a great story to try to influence the youth watching, she then became their all-time digs leader, played for the U.S. national team for 6 years as their libero, and won bronze with Alicia Childress in 2016.
You make your own way and you pave your own history. It doesn't matter what other people have to say about you. Go out and bet on yourself, and that's what I tell the girls that play for me at SCVC. You might be undersized, but there are still opportunities for you. And have that grit, have that chip on your shoulder. You have that I have something to prove mentality, and that's a blessing. Use it as a green light, day in and day out. How you lace up your shoes at practice, how you show up to practice. Set the standard for yourself.
I'm sure your players are loving all the shout-outs, aren't they? Hello there, what, SCVC?
That's right.
Absolutely, a shout-out there as Kayla Banworth took Ole Miss from 1-19 to 21-9, an incredible turnaround in the SEC. Trying to take this Atlanta team from the #1 seed, but eliminated in the semifinals, to a trip to the championship match in May, as Beeson again crossed court. Something she did a lot in the first set. We'll now see Vegas dip into their bench, and Morgan Stout, the rookie out of Wichita State, will come in and make her pro debut.
Stout led Wichita State as a middle in kills, aces, and blocks this last season.
Graham setting. Vegas trying to stay alive into the fourth set with many of the reserves on the floor as Jardine handled by Edmond again. And it is Taylor Head's show. The third set has been explosive, and Vegas wants a challenge, and they will get one here, but let's take another look at that swing.
Vegas challenging a touch off that block.
So if it stands, Head starts her career 3 kills on 3 swings. And if it's overturned, this match gets a lot tighter at 19-17. Atlanta back in action at home in their opener Thursday against Columbus at 7 o'clock Eastern, and then Sunday on FS1 against Grand Rapids at 6 Eastern. Let's take our look here at this returning block touch. Looks to avoid the head of Head, and the call will be confirmed. Meanwhile, our second match of the day here in the Pro Volleyball Federation. Omaha swept Grand Rapids on the road to start this doubleheader. As Graham sliding all over the place in a big time at 2016. In system, Beeson, bully ball, 21-16.
Beeson again unleashing on that ball, attacking the seam in the block. Part of the All-SEC team. AVCA Region Player of the Year.
Oh yeah, that was early days.
Yeah, I know.
Florida Gator.
Yeah.
Stout gets the crowd on their feet with her first professional termination.
Stout is a worker horse. The Thrill are very lucky to have her. She finds ways to put balls away off the net, on the net, in front of her setter and behind.
Fortunately for Vegas, service errors have plagued them tonight. And Atlanta now leads 22-17 with Lewis in the front row, Vicini serving. Bombing swing again in the middle.
Stout, the rookie, saying goodbye to that ball. She was up in the air with a high elbow, swung up and through that ball. The block was nowhere to be found. Stout led the nation in middle blockers and kills per set, 3.15, ranked second in total points in the nation.
Lewis straight down in the middle, starting to heat up here late in the third. Atlanta 2 points away from the match.
Middle on middle action, that's when you know you have a good volleyball game. Lewis taking advantage of a good first ball pass opportunity.
Good ball by Mayfield. Graham, Jardine, and it's match point coming for the Vibe. An offensive juggernaut performance, hitting just north of 270. Beeson into the net, and it's 24-19.
Well, it ain't over till it's over, and with Childress coming back in with Willow, the Thrill are going to try and push a couple more points here. What they have to do, we'll try and get the Vibe out of system here, especially with such active middles. Their pins have been consistent. Childress now in the back row has all 3 options in the front row.
Make sure to stick with us for our post-match show following a quick break. There's Montserrat to the back row, and Edmond blocks to keep the match going.
Then Buskert's reading it like a book and clamping down. She knows Vibe want to find Edmond, especially in the back row. She stayed locked in, reached up and over.
4 more match points, and it's Lewis. who encapsulates this match with a slide. The Atlanta Vibe win their first match of the season in 3-set fashion here in Vegas. As both teams move to 1-1, we relive it again. The back row defense just so good for Atlanta.
Disciplined defense was in favor of Atlanta. The Vibe had started the season as road dogs. Last 2 games to start the season on the road, now 1-1. They've had to grind it out. They had a gnarly battle last match versus Omaha at Omaha in 5. They had another road dog match again this evening, but they came out and just took care of business. There's Coach Vansworth on the screen at the helm now for Atlanta. We knew that they were going to be a force to be reckoned with, and they were.
Let's step aside. Come on back with Leah Edmond, our player of the match, next. The Southern Nevada Toyota Association, and it is Leah Edmond with not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 aces in the match, 3 of them in one rotation. And Leah is our player of the match, and we welcome her here courtside with us. And, well, a 3-setter, certainly what you drew up, but from the service line, was there something that you were able to tap into there early on?
I just think being relaxed and having fun, you know, coming off of a loss on Friday, sometimes that can be in your head a little bit, but I think today we just went out and said, let's just play volleyball. That's what I was telling myself. I'm just going to go back there, I'm going to rip it. If I get blocked, I get blocked. If I error with the ace, I error. So that's kind of how my thought process was today.
Let's talk about the mental part of the game. I touched on, you know, everybody at this level, you're big, you can block, you can play defense, but it really comes down to the mental side. What's a couple things that you lean on when you're playing?
I kind of just tell myself, I know what I can do, and I just kind of lean on that. Like, I just lean on my training, what I've been doing, what I can do, and just kind of play the game through that. Like, so I don't get upset when I make errors because I know that I can come back and do what I need to do.
60 kills in 5 matches here in your career, all wins against Vegas, whether at home or on the road. Is there something about coming to Henderson, getting familiar? Do you like playing in this court that you really get comfortable with?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just I feel comfortable playing in Vegas. You know, the smoke really gets you. Maybe that's what it is. All the smoke before the game from the lineups and things is why I can play so well here.
So let's talk about the rookies, because tonight we really got to see, especially those Florida State kids with Corey Lewis and then Taylor Head off the bench. What's the excitement level and the interest with Merritt Beeson and the youth that gets injected in?
I think it's nice to have such a balance. We have probably maybe a more younger team from top to bottom, even the veterans, and I think it's so much fun to have people who are just so fresh into the game, just so excited to be there and just want to contribute any way that they can. So they're amazing. We definitely saw how amazing they were tonight, and it's just a joy to be able to play with them.
You know, we were talking to Coach before, and she said you guys are really close on and off the court, and sometimes that can be like hit or miss depending where you're playing, but how lucky are you to have that good vibe with the vibe?
It's exciting. I mean, the whole bus ride to the game, non-stop talking, non-stop giggling, like everybody's just so involved. We love being around each other, so it just makes being on the court so much more fun because you're cheering on your friends.
And it's exciting for these rookies to come in and to look up to you and to have you on their team, so very exciting future for Atlanta.
Thank you so much for joining us, our player of the match, Leah Edmond, as Vegas goes 1-1 in that opening weekend. And we thank you so much for joining us here this weekend, as Victoria Dennis and I were so pleased with all of the well wishes and happy reports from Friday, and hopefully you enjoy all the rest of the broadcasts this season long. Victoria, one final thought from the first 2 Vegas matches of this season.
Well, I'm just excited for the rest of the season and watching all the games all around the league, and the fans are showing up and showing out, selling out at 3 different arenas. It's very exciting times for professional volleyball in America.
Vegas is back at home on Friday, 7 o'clock against the defending champs in Omaha. It was a Sunday to remember for Vibe fans and volleyball fans alike, as Atlanta comes in and disposes of the hosts in 3 sets. As we thank you so much for joining us, for our entire crew, Joe Kruger, our director and producer. For Victoria Dennis, I'm Daniel Gilman, saying so long from Vegas. Have a great week, everybody.